Sawubona. We're on 7.7 Applications of Equations, page 417. Now, equations can be used to describe any situation in which two values are equal. To solve problems, we're going to follow these steps, and I'm going to keep on hammering on these same steps over and over. 1. Define variables to stand for unknown numbers. For example, let the cost be x and the distance y, or let the age of one person be L and the other person 2L. Step number 2, write an equation to describe the problem. For example, x equals 3 plus 2y. We're then ready for step 3, solve the equation algebraically if possible. Our last step is then to ensure that we answer the original question, and we're also going to include the correct units, for example, dollars, years, and centimeters. So let's start off with example 10, solving a problem using equations. The weight of 6 identical books is 1.2 kilogram. What is the weight of one book? Now this is pretty easy, but let's go down our steps and see what we're supposed to do. So step 1 was define variables to stand for unknown numbers. So we need to start off with a statement. The best way to look for the way or the place to look for this is in the question. The question is, what is the weight of one book? So we're going to start off with this statement. We're going to say, let one book weigh x kilograms. So that is number 1 done. Step 2, write an equation to describe the problem. So looking at the question, the weight of 6 identical books, which means 6 times x. If one book is x kilogram, then 6 books will be 6x, will equal 1.2 kilograms. Now, I started doing kilograms at the end, but while we are working, I am not going to put the kilograms there, and I'm just going to use it in my final answer. So 6x equals 1.2. Step 3, solve the equation. Now we just have to find the value of x. To do that, I'm going to divide by 6 on the left hand side, I'm going to divide by 6 on the right hand side, and therefore I can say they cancel. So x will equal 1.2 divided by 6. If you can't do it in your head, use a calculator. The answer is 0.2. The last step is then to write your answer with its units. So the question again was, what is the weight of one book? We said one book is x kilograms, x is 0.2, so I can say one book weighs 0.2 kilogram. Nice. Let's look at the next example. Example 11. This is a harder problem using equations. Purchasing 5 apples and a $2.40 mango cost the same as purchasing 7 apples and a mandarin that cost 60 cents. What is the cost of each apple? So let's go back to our list. Step 1. Define variables to stand for unknown numbers. So we go and we look at the question. What is the cost of each apple? And this is the statement that we're going to start off with. So we're going to say, let an apple cost x dollars. So let an apple cost x dollars. Step 2, Write an equation to describe the problem. So an apple costs X dollars. If I buy 5 apples, I will pay 5 times the cost of 1 apple. And I also pay $2.40, which means plus $2.40. They say that this costs the same as, so if it costs the same, it means it equals purchasing 7 apples, so 7 times the price of 1 apple, and a mandarin, so plus, and then there's a little bit of a trick here because they say 60 cents, and because we have dollars here, $2.4, we'll have to write cents as dollars as well. Now, I know you guys are bright, so you can do it in your head, and you can say 60 cents is $0.6. Step 3, solve the equation. So I'm going to get rid of all the x's on the right hand side by subtracting 7x on this side. Oh, that's the ugliest 7 ever. Take 7x this side, take 7x on that side. Same step, I'm going to get rid of the 2.4 by subtracting 2.4, and I'm going to subtract 2.4. Right, what do I get? 5x take 7x will give me 2x, plus 4 minus 4 is nothing, equals 7x take 7x is nothing, 0.6 take away 2.4 will give us negative 1.8. So that is 2x. Now I'm going to get rid of the 2. To get rid of the 2, I'm going to divide by 2. I'm going to divide by, ooh, that's a negative 2. Now you show me. 5x take 7x is negative 2x. Thank you for helping me with that one. Negative 2 divided by 2 is going to be negative x, which equals negative 0.9. Now students have asked me, sir, do I have to show what I'm doing here? And the answer is, yeah, of course you need to show me what to do. So to get rid of negative and a negative on both sides, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by negative 1, and I'm going to multiply with negative 1. A negative times a negative gives me a positive, so that will give me x, and that will give me positive 0.9. Now, our last step, our final step is now write your answer with units. So I'm just going to go back to my original question, and the question said, what is the cost of each apple? We said the cost of an apple is x equals $0.9. Nobody's weird around here, so we don't talk about $0.9. We will say, therefore, 1 apple cost 90 cents. Everybody happy? Let's go to our last question. Last example, example 12, solving problems with 2 related unknowns. Now Jane and Luke have a combined age of 60. Given that Jane is twice as old as Luke, find the ages of Luke and Jane. Now let's be brave, and I'm not gonna type in the steps on the right hand side. We're gonna remember them. So step 1, define variables to stand in for unknown numbers. Now here we have 2 unknowns. We have Jane, we have Jane, and we have Luke. Now big hint is that we always make the smallest one or the youngest one. We're going to make that the unknown value. Otherwise we're going to use fractions, otherwise we have to work with fractions. So just take my word for it, learn and be thankful later. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, given that Jane is twice as old as Luke, we're going to say wrong color. We're going to say let Luke, which is the youngest, let Luke be X years old. Okay, so let Luke be X years old. Step number two was write an equation to describe the problem. And they say Jane and Luke have combined ages. If Luke is X years old, how old is Jane? Remember, they're related, so we can say, well, Jane is twice as old. So if Luke is X, Jane will be 2 times that, which means Jane will be that's so nasty. Jane will be 2 years old, 2x. Jane, therefore, Jane will be 2x years old. Now, find the ages. So the equation will be now X and Jane and Luke. So Jane and Luke, which means 2x plus x, have a combined age of 60. Step 3, solve the equation. 2x plus x is 3x. 3x equals 60. Therefore, I am going to divide by 3 on the left, divide by 3 on the right, and we're going to say, therefore, x equals 20. Now, the last part, ensure you answer the original question, including the correct units. And this is where some of you might make mistakes, and I don't want you to do those mistakes or make those mistakes in the exam. The question was, find the ages of Luke and Jane. Who was X? Luke was X. So we can say, therefore, Luke is 20 years old and Jane is 2 times 20 because she is 2x years old. So 2 times 20 is 40 years old. Can you check your answer? Oof, that's again a nasty S. So let's just fix up. Years old. Okay, can you check your answer? Yep, 20 years plus 40 years is 60 years, and that combined to an age of 60 years. Now, it is your turn to have fun. So, let's see what I can dish up for you. Let's try 1 to 7 and see how you go. Now, the goodbye. Let's try Salagatle. Till next time.